Welcome to the podcast. Today I have a very special guest, Ashley Ryan, known as Pythian Priestess. Today we talk about the occult, manifestation, spirituality, the universe, sexual magic. You're going to want to tune into this. Subscribe and watch till the end because we have a special announcement for you.
Left my fiance and I decided that I wanted to go find myself, and so I really dove into spirituality in a new way. I had been always interested in the occult, but with this new freedom, let's really dive into it, right?
Yeah.
And so in 2020, right before COVID happened, I was initiated into a secret order, and I was given the title of priestess during my initiation.
What is the order? Do you mind?
I can't share because it's secret.
Yeah.
So that was this big step for me, where I had already had a pretty good following on TikTok. In 2019, I got upwards of 100K. And then it just exploded after I was initiated. And I became more comfortable on camera, where, that being said, it's not the same as TV, right? I'm sitting with my phone. I get to choose the angles. So I spent about 4 to 5 years really gaining confidence in my content making, because it's very different than traditional film. I do everything on my phone, I do my own voiceovers, and the technology is so good now, I don't even need to go into a studio for a lot of stuff.
You can come here anytime.
I can come here. Yeah, for in-person podcast stuff. Absolutely. And I think what really broke for me was I started doing this podcast actually called The Occult Unveiled. And it was funded by a production company in New York called F Street Productions, which I had gained a connection with from a former boss from MTV, which was great. Cool. So we spent about 2.5 years making this wonderful project. It has 60 episodes. It's still available for streaming. And I was reached out to by Sam and Colby's executive director or creative director, whatever his title is. He's like, "Do you want to come read tarot for these guys?" And I was like, "Yeah,
heck yeah,
hell yeah, I'll go do that, you guys."
Yeah.
It was the worst tarot reading I've ever given in my entire life. It was.
What do you mean?
It was so bad. There was nothing I could spin and be like, "Oh, there's positive." No, it was dark, bad.
Oh no.
And my section, because of that, where I was you're going to be crying at 3 a.m., you're going to be sad, there's potential illness involved.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, that sucked. I didn't think I'd ever hear from these guys again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a couple of weeks later, Colby Brock was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, everything you said came true.
Oh, wow.
And that's really what forged our relationship. And I had not been used to being on camera with someone else being the cameraman. So that was a huge transition for me. And also doing spiritual work on camera is very different than doing it alone in my bedroom at 3 a.m.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, I love that you use the word occult so freely. A lot of specifically Christian domination sects are very I don't know, against it. Which I think is funny, and I think they misunderstand what the occult means. Are you familiar with the Hermetic principles and the Kabbalion?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very familiar with the Hermetic principles. Hermeticism is a big part of my work. And if those Christians actually did any digging, they would know that there's a whole esoteric section of Christianity.
100%. Yeah, well, and then the Bible is their only book, and there's so many books outside of that. And I read voraciously, and that's why I'm familiar with so many concepts. But I'm all right, let me read the Bible to see what they're talking about. In from the sense of a Christian's only perspective is through the Bible, but I have hundreds of other books, and then let me just add the Bible to my book intake, and then that gives you a more holistic understanding of the entire universe.
Absolutely. And I'm not anti-Christian. I don't have a problem with the Christian mystery tradition. I have a problem with evangelical Christians in 2025.
Oh, it's a problem.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys are doing, but that is not what Jesus said.
Right.
Jesus was a brown revolutionist.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Literally. Of what Mediterranean descent, my family's Jewish, so it's it's misrepresented, and I love how you said that evangelist. That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how did you? So yeah, let's get back into like how'd you got into? So you read this reading for them, and what happened next?
They kept inviting me back for episodes, and a lot of the occult is experimentation. That's why we call it the occult sciences, because it is like science where you are doing a lot of experimentation, trial and error. And I have always loved Ouija boards. Like that is something that it's a symbol that I've carried around my whole life. And I had read this book called Aleister Crowley and the Ouija board. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my own spirit board. And as I literally was finishing it, I got invited to go to the Conjuring House and do a spirit board session with Sam and Colby.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, dangerous? Good for the
Potentially.
brand.
Well, and not maybe dangerous, but I think that what like sparks fear around people is their like lack of understanding, like, you know, and that like that could trigger people in a way. And I think like I try to, when I feel fear, it's like, let me just understand more, like, you know, and I think that that's definitely like a deeper level of understanding.
Yes, and as both of our brands have grown together, like there is more communication and talk about like, what are you doing? Why are you setting up the ring this way? And there's some stuff I can't show on camera, and their team has been nothing but kind, polite, and respectful for taking out certain things. And maybe it's not the best editorial cut, but they blur stuff for me, and they're very, very respectful. And
that's cool.
so that's really what launched my visibility, because I've had the TikTok following, I've had the Instagram following, but Sam and Colby were instrumental in assisting me in growing the brand with a form of recognition that I had not received previously, because they're more in paranormal world where the witchcraft occult world is much more niche.
Yeah. Well, it's different, right? Like, and occult is like, again, it's such a like umbrella word that like triggers people.
No, everyone thinks of like demons and the Faustian bargain.
Yeah.
Like, that's a part of it,
right?
But there's a lot more too.
Well, and like, so how I feel like I utilize the occult is like, I mean, any like manifestation could be like grouped in under that, right? It's like creating your future through like the spirit, like your own spirit, like, and it's so. Again, when I think it challenges people and like creates fear and stuff, it's because it breaks their construct of their identity and their beliefs. Like if you start to like be like, whoa, there's way more beyond me, and you like start to lose yourself in like how vast, like you don't know what you don't know, and it's pretty, you know, it could break people. It
breaks your mind down. It's an intimidation. Like that's crazy. Like there's so much. There are other gods. What? Like,
yeah, I've also read, are you familiar with like the Ra? Like there's like Ra channelings and like, what other channelings have I read? A handful of them. But yeah, different like Egyptian like times. Hermetic is like really, I find it interesting. Yeah, very broad. The Kabbalion was a great book. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what I don't know, like, but I could start to grasp the concepts of like, you know, how deep it goes and like how you can create like.
Oh, it never ends.
Yeah, it's the universe is infinite; it continues to perpetuate. So
speaking of what you don't know, I brought my cards.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. That's kind of cool. So yeah, talk me through it. What's the like kind of process?
So these are Rider-Waite-Smith cards. These are the ones that you've probably seen on TV. There's a lot of familiar images. These were created in the early 1900s by a man named E.A. Waite, and Pamela Coleman Smith was the illustrator.
Okay.
I read exclusively with these cards because they were created in a hermetic way that helps tap into the unconscious mind. So the way I do readings is, for podcasts, I want you to close your eyes with me, Oscar. And I want you to think of an answer to a question, like a question that you want an answer to. And let me know when you have that question firmly in your mind.
Okay.
All right. Open your eyes. So all cards are facing me. I will flip them over as we talk about it.
Or can I talk? I don't want to break your conversation.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely.
Or your concentration. So I had an ex-girlfriend a long time ago, and she read tarot like for a living, and I remember she like kept asking me, and I was a lot younger and naive and afraid of it, and finally she was like, okay. I was like, okay, and she was like, she read my cards, and she was like, someone's gonna die around you,
Oh,
like
Lord.
soon, like. And literally, by the end of the week, my dog died. I was like, whoa. So after that, I was like, wow, that's kind of, there's something to it, huh?
No, that is not what we're doing today.
Yeah.
But, there are some pretty spooky readings like that.
Yeah.
So this one, it looks like you're talking about Earth. So we see pentacles, pentacles, and that shows me that you're probably thinking about work or the material world in some way.
Yeah.
So for everyone who's listening, pentacles are not evil. They're not satanic, especially when they're upright like this. It's representing the 4 elements united with spirit, which is manifestation. So that's a lot of your question is about, I've built something. So here, this was you in the past creating an idea, but it's in the astral plane right now. So the hand of God reached out. We see that you've had some difficulty because you've been really unbalanced in your life. Probably overworking, not getting enough sleep. And you're working really hard to unify this team. So this card can represent marriage, but in this case, because it's work related, it's about unifying your team together because there has been discourse and there will continue to be discourse. However, not a huge deal. As long as we broker contracts correctly, as long as there's clear communication and a united vision. That's really important. Because here in this card, we actually see the people. They have a contract in their hands.
Literally.
Yeah. So that's a big part of making sure everything on the legal end is tight. Everyone's on the same page there. Here you are. So you are the King of Pentacles.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. And this is a great card. We love kings because it shows that you have wisdom that you're bringing into this project, that you have a clear idea of what you want, and you're not greedy. That's a huge part. When kings are upright, yay. We have a lot of bad kings in our world, in our history too. So you're leading well. Don't be upset that there have been delays. I see that there's been some delays in the past. That happens, especially when the hand of God says, hey, Oscar, pay attention. I'm trying to tell you something. And you're like, I don't think so.
Wow.
And so it's saying this was reversed for you. And it says, hey, like things are unbalanced right now. They will get back, but you have to be balanced. You're leading the ship right now, and if you're unbalanced, no one else is going to be balanced either.
Wow.
And you can't handle situations that are unbalanced if you're unbalanced.
Yeah. Wow.
We see success. We see movement forward. This is the advice card from the goddess Isis, the goddess that I work with. Keep moving forward. Wands represent direction. In magic, we use wands to create like a laser beam of energy. And so she's asking you right now, like, know where you're going. Only carry one wand. Don't carry anyone else's.
Wow.
And then we see great success. Even though the sun card is reversed, there's no negative meanings. So think of it as like a beautiful day with one cloud over the sun.
Well, that's incredible.
Yeah.
This was so good. I wanna, for the people, how accurate this is I'm not surprised because you're probably really, really good at what you do, and this is a testament to it. My question was, how long will it take me to get to $100 million? And we're leading a team. We're opening up many locations rapidly, so I'm a little unbalanced with work. I'm a very generous king. Last night I took one of our guys out to sushi. It was like $530, and he was like blown away. I try to contribute as much as possible to everyone's success, and like it was really, really spot on. Everything it was not uncanny. Like I said, I wouldn't expect anything less. Like thank you for reading it for me.
You're very welcome.
Validation, right, of what we already know.
Yeah, you'll get to that number. It's just going to take you a little longer than you want.
It's all part of the journey. That's what I tell. Yeah, I tell our guys is we're all on our own journey. So, Okay, so I love your story. Like, let's go back to even the beginning. So you went to school, you did TV journalism. Were you always like into tarot? Or how did you get into that?
You want my OG. Okay.
The OG.
I was 4. Oh, yeah. So I grew up in a Roman Catholic family. My babysitters when I was a child were my great aunts who were nuns.
Wow.
They were Benedictine nuns.
Wow.
And I was 4 years old. I have this very vivid memory of running through the formal dining room with my cousins, which is a big no-no. But the nun stepped in front of the doorway, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm in trouble. I'm in so much trouble. Oh, my God. And she's like, we want to talk to you. And she asked me if I wanted to get married to Jesus and become a nun.
At 4?
At 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, I'd rather be a priest. Because I thought, like, in my little 4-year-old brain, I'm like, oh, so, like, people feed me forever. I have housing. Like, that's not bad. But I want to touch God. Like, I knew at a young age that the Eucharist was very special, and nuns couldn't do that. And they were like, oh, sweetie, you're a girl. You can't do that. And I was like, well, I'm done with this then.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of my young life trying to understand, like, why God didn't want me. And around 14 years old, I went to my first Renaissance fair where I got a tarot reading with a deck just like this. And it was my first religious experience.
Wow.
Where I was like, these cards are the most sacred, most important things I've ever seen in my entire life, and I must own them. And I was ready to go across oceans and climb mountains and do all this like intense work.
Yeah.
And so I asked her, where can I buy my own deck? And she said, Barnes and Noble. And I was a little bit disappointed, but also grateful that it was so easily attainable. So at 14, I started really studying tarot, and I dated someone who was in the process of being initiated into it's not Santeria. It's a different version of Santeria. It's called the White Table. And so I learned a lot from his family and his mom. I picked up some hoodoo, especially living in Florida at that time. That's really what was available to me. So when I got into college, I actually got my undergraduate degree in philosophy and theology. And when I was introduced to Plato, I was like, whoa, there's like a lot in here that's like cosmology level. And I really wanted to understand the way of thinking, like how do I think clearly and not just take in what other people are telling me. Break out of those confines. And I did. And it was when we were reading The Cave, which is a part of the symposium, where in the story there's a man who is shackled to a wall, and he's forced to watch a wall with other prisoners of shadows. And when he breaks free, he turns around and sees that there are people walking around with like figures on sticks making these shadows. And he escapes, goes out into the world. He's blinded by the sun. He can't see very well, but then realizes the true nature of things. So he goes back down into the cave, tells the prisoners this, and is murdered.
Oh.
And I was like, wait a second. So who are the people creating the shadows? Are these our politicians? And I quickly realized it's media.
Yeah.
And I wanted to infuse the world with stories that are positive, myths that we need. There are plenty of terrible myths and hypergoods that we have in our world. And I decided at that moment, at the ripe age of 20, that I wanted to work in media to start bringing truth back with a capital T. Not anyone's like personal truth, but cosmology.
Yeah, truth will hold like relevant across all sects and all everything. So when there's truth, it's really undeniable, right? It's not like from perspective. And then what you said, I think it's so interesting about human behavior, like how deeply people will defend their like limiting beliefs or even just beliefs in general, where they will like murder you over you telling them the truth. And like as I advance in life, right, through just expansion of consciousness and reading more, I could kind of see when I communicate with people, like right off the bat, I'll be like, hey, I could tell you something, but you might be defensive about it. So do you want to hear it or not? And then I'll tell them, and they're immediately guard, like, oh, this, or this. And I'm like, okay, well then, whatever, it's cool. Like, hold on to where you're at. And but it's the same concept of like the occult. It's like, if you break their paradigm of belief, there's a lot of defense on it. And so as a leader, and like, it's crazy how spirituality and everything kind of goes whole, like everything's connected. And so as a leader, my job is to get to the desired outcome, right? So like communicate with people in the manner in which they need to get to the desired outcome. And so sometimes it has to be in certain manners like that they resonate with, and that could be a challenge. Like, I don't know how I'm trying to.
Well, I do the same thing with tarot. So I have different streams of revenue, and one of them being in-person readings, where sometimes I use slang, I use metaphors, or even humor to get a point across, because humor is what's going to help bring down their defenses. I've noticed that. The other thing is when people come see me, there's a little bit of a different attitude, right?
Like they have expectations? Or?
Sometimes there's expectations, but there's also, in a lot of ways, those barriers get put down because I am the conduit for something greater, which makes my job a little easier.
Nice.
The other ways that I make money, which are more similar to what you're talking about, is I opened up an online school called Pythian Mystery School.
You have a lot of people in your community.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for everyone who has joined, and we're a much slower social media pace. So I didn't want to create like another thing where people have to check all the time. Like spirituality is something that's a lot slower, and I wanted to create an insular community, and I had tried all kinds of things. I tried Patreon, I tried making my own website on Squarespace, but I finally found something called the Circle community, and I really love Circle. It does everything that I need it to do. I can upload files, videos, I have my own chat room, and it was like taking all of these different apps that I needed Zapier for, and it just put it all in one, and I was like, oh, great. And now they have like email marketing too, so I can instantly message this entire audience. So my email list is upwards of 6,000 now, which is great.
That's really good.
And I'm very happy with it. And I've been spending a lot of time in the last 2 years working and learning from Laney Media on organic marketing and how to sell online, because a lot of the old ways of selling aren't as effective when people's attention spans are now 2 seconds.
Yeah. That's so cool how you're able to merge like the business aspect into the spirituality and like hopefully make a really good living at it. We do our like just switch total gears, like our business. We run a lot of Instagram and TikTok ads direct to, so we'll film an ad, we run it, and then we run it to the studio. So like our average is like for every $1 in, we get 3 out. So like it's a pretty solid system. Yeah. And what's cool about that is like for the studio, it like grows our following so much because we run our secret sauce is direct message ads. So we have them come in, and then it's like our following grows like 100 like followers a day, which is really cool.
Yeah. Are you using ManyChat? What are you using?
Yeah. So it's ad with the offer. So the offer is important. So it's like record your podcast for $99, which is like usually like people are like, what? And then they come in, and then ManyChat. Yeah. So then the trigger word is like for LA, it's like LA 99. And then we have like a deep flow. There's probably, I want to say like 10 or 15 messages, something like that, like pretty deep. And then we have a DM setter like from the Philippines that like comes in and like kind of just nurtures it and like responds to the people that don't go. Cause like ManyChat has like safety regulations, maybe like it doesn't allow you to follow up if they don't respond to the first one.
I understand, yeah.
So then I have like the DM setter to like kind of like go and so that does really well for us. So I don't know how, but for a community that would be really dope to run like a messaging ad, get them into the community, and then just provide a ton of value until they're ready to like
until they're nurtured enough and ready to purchase. The other thing I've realized about spirituality and business is that it's very hard to sell something that's ethereal.
Yeah.
So a big part of something that my audience really wants is to develop their intuition. And that has been like, you can't oversell it, right? Like I have seen some very unethical ads from people in the spiritual space, like, get rid of your depression and your anxiety. And I'm like, you're doing all that without therapy, dude?
Yeah.
So that's the big thing that I'm learning, like, how do I make this more physical for people, because that seems to be the barrier that I'm hitting right now, is like, enlightenment's great, but what can I hold in my hand?
It's like a tangible experience. And like maybe you could do like workshops or like retreats or something, because like even here, like we're not necessarily, obviously like the content, they get a ton of value, but it's like the experience. Like that's our fundamental core value. It's like when people come in, they need to feel a really good energy, feel like great, and then when they leave, they're really charged up. Like that's what we're selling, is an entire experience, not just like the content is our conduit, like, you know, but the experience and the feeling is what we're selling. So
right. And I think that's why the mystery school community is really important. And I vet every person who comes into the school. Like nobody can just join outright. Like I need to make sure that you're a stable individual who's going to add to my community. I don't need drama. And like, you know, witches online, especially like with the birth of Witch Talk, there's a lot of petty drama. And I don't have time for that. Like I'm here to nurture your path towards a greater communication with divinity or source or whatever you want to call it. I'm not interested in throwing hexes back and forth. Yeah,
exactly. Well, so let's go into that. What would be like some recommendations to like, because I know I'll share with you after you share, but how I do it. But what would you like recommend someone that it is like they want to connect deeper to source or like to the universe?
So this is where I would say you need to create a consistent meditation practice. Because our world, we are living in a chaotic world and there's noise everywhere. And you are the conduit. So if your systems are not attuned, if you can't learn to quiet the monkey mind, like everything I'm going to teach you will be for naught. And I can't teach you discipline. That's something that we have to work together on. Like discipline is an action that you take. So creating I have an AI bot that I'm training right now to help be a reminder. So like, hey, did you do your meditation today? And the goal that I have here is taking my free podcast, which is Pause with Pythian, and nurturing that, creating that discipline. Like, let's make it really easy for you. I walk you through the steps. Let's learn how to shut our mind off at nighttime. Create that space so you can hear your intuition. And then once you grow from that, we'll start doing more spell work. Because if you can't concentrate your energy, your spell work is like water. If I was just going to take a glass of water and I could pour it into a cup, it's going to take the form of a cup, but it's concentrated. If I just take that water and I spill it out over this table, it goes everywhere. And it's messy.
There's no force. Well, you know what's so funny? It's like that's why I think words and like God and the devil and like they're just words are like for people to physically understand concepts or ideas. Because exactly everything you just said, and Choo could attest, is like we don't make our people do meditation, but we strongly reinforce a culture of like self-development meditation. And so it's funny that I was going to say how I connect to source is through like my morning routine, which is exercising like really hard, like putting all out on there. And then I come home and I meditate. And then that like kind of, connects me and that allows me to deal with problems and all that. But so like, and now you're talking about spells, which is to me, how I interpret it, it's like once you have a clear mind or a clear connection, then you could think more accurately and you could tell yourself affirmations, if you want to call them, spells or whatever word tracks. And then those word tracks create, manifest, bring things into reality. It's like the same process, right, with different labels that we fundamentally input into our culture. And so at work, and my wife, like I was just having this conversation with her, because we're opening a lot of studios, like we're opening a lot. And she's like, why do you want to do it so fast? Because I was like, we need to do more. Like we have to hit 50 in 5 years. And like at the rate we're going, like for a year, it's like not fast enough. And she's like, well, but why? And I was like, okay, so obviously the goal is to have all the worldly things that we desire so that we can be comfortable forever. But it's like if we go a layer deeper, I want to make the biggest positive impact I can. And so, like, I have a guy who I know is wealthy, like 2-3 million year guy, and but he's just chilling, right? Like going to the club, wasting his money, messing with girls, doing whatever, just wasting his potential. And I told him, like, if you want to like actually be value to your community is you have to build your organization. Because like for me, building my organization, again, I'm not like forcing them to meditate or anything, but I'm strongly influencing them by my leadership to do what's best for them. And so if they're meditating, thinking clearly, their life dramatically improves. And then we, like in our Vegas location, we do like 200 or 300 people come through our doors. And so if we have a clear, like really good charge inside of our body, when we encounter those people, we then transfer our really positive charge to them, and now we have 300 people that have been positively charged, and they're going to go home and to their wives or wherever they go, and they're going to continue to project the charge. So that's one location, Vegas, now LA, then Charlotte, and then Tennessee. Like, so imagine we're doing that, right? 300 people each location, and it's actually going higher and higher, but like now we're creating like an army of positive light forces, and then they're impacting the community, and then the community keeps like, so that like beyond the like, and as a byproduct, naturally, because we're in the physical realm, like we'll be rewarded with monetary value, right? Because it's just the natural order of our physical dimension. But when we go deeper, it's to create the biggest positive impact in the physical world, like, you know. So that's my mission in life, and yeah, I mean, it's everything you're saying, right? Like, and you're doing it in your way, which I love, and I'm so glad that we got to connect. And I'm doing it with my tools, which is like this. But I think that's what it's for. There's so many lost souls, right? And like, if you want to call it, like, use the label of God, like God needs powerful, positive warriors, just as like the negative side or whatever you want to call it. How there's so many powerful warriors on that side, like the positive energy side, like needs equally positive warriors.
Yeah, you absolutely need both. Your battery has both charges.
You know, when I told my wife that the first time, it totally blew her mind. Like, she does not believe in anything negative, right? And I was like, no, everyone like a battery would not function without the positive and the negative. So like, those charges need to like equally coexist at every level.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, without the negative. Like if we think of, you know, we'll get a little esoteric before.
Yeah, I love esoteric.
So we need to think of the negative not being bad. That's not the right word. It's about density. So we talk about subtle energies. The higher we go up, the more subtle, the more fine energies are. When we come down lower, it's more dense.
Like,
yeah, like crunches.
Yeah, right? Energy.
So the word that a lot of occultists use is crystallization. So we're crystallizing, like Plato would say there's the forms up in the astral plane, and then down here we have the physical realm. But let's keep going lower. We need to have that density because as high as it goes up, it needs to go just as far down because you need balance between both. This idea of like, oh my God, we could go on for so long about this. But I love it.
I love it.
I have a lot of issues when people like talk about like demons coming through and stuff like that. Like, okay, guys, like I understand this fear that was created by Thomas Aquinas and St. Augustine de Hippo.
And the Catholic organization.
Yeah. And it's a great story for your internal war. People are always talking about spiritual warfare there, spiritual warfare that. There's an internal world, which is called your microcosm. And then there's the external world, not just in this realm, but beyond, called the macrocosm. The chances of you dealing with a macrocosmic demon are very small. That is very unlikely. Yeah. But Aleister Crowley tells us that inside of all of us, the 72 angels of the Shemhem Pharesh exist, and the 72 demons of the Goetia. They're parts of your mind. So people who are doing these horrific things, like murder, or we'll just, for trigger purposes, not say other things, but that nothing is coming down and puppeteering you. You have free will. So that evil exists inside of you, and you choose whether or not you want to activate it. This idea of evil being created by Satan is not correct because you are the creator of this world. You are creating evil. Evil, like these lower astral entities or infernal entities are just doing the job that was given to them by source or creator. That's their job. Like they're not here to puppeteer you, but you're letting yourself be puppeteered.
Well, and so have you read this is a more mainstream book, but Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill?
I haven't read that one.
Excuse me. He talks about hypnotic rhythm. And so I think negative charge, positive charge, whatever like the energy you want to label it, it's a reality you choose to experience, right? Like
Yes.
karma or whatever you want to call it. So if you're doing wrong by other people and other people would do wrong by you, and then you just you're in that same loop and you think everyone's bad and everyone you encounter is bad, is because you're in that vibrational alignment. And so like it talks about in that book, hypnotic rhythm. So like once you are doing the same rhythm for so long, you get to a point where it's like you can't go back from it. Like if you smoke cigarettes for like 100 years and then like at the 95 year, you're like, I should probably stop smoking cigarettes. Like you have so much backtrack work to go that way that like, and so I think people get caught in that loop and then that becomes a reality and then they're just kind of like, and again, people say sell your soul to the devil or whatever, but like you become a product of that energy, but by your choice. Like, you know, you like you said, you choose to be a jerk. Like, you choose to do these things that create those results. Like, we are all in control of our direct actions as human creators, as an image of God, right? Like, and so, like, people see my life and they're like, wow, what an incredible life. But, like, it's every choice I make, right? Like, and my stepdad told me this when I was really young, and I don't know why it's always stuck with me, and it helps me feel safe. But he said it in the verbiage of, if you never let the devil in your house, it can never get you, right? And so, like, I look at it like that. Like, if I never entertain, like, the devil, it can never get me. So if I never drink and drive, I can never get a DUI. If I never, like, do bad business, I can never have a bad deal. If I never am mean to anyone, no one can be mean to me. Like, you know, and so if you know that truth, then, like, it's like, you know, like you're creating it for yourself.
Absolutely. And that's also, like, the internal dialogue. Like, I am worthy. I am ready to accept. Like, there's a great, I don't remember who wrote it on Threads, but it's like, how do you expect to manifest $1 million if you don't have a millionaire mindset? If you don't know how to manage your money, like, the universe can't give you that.
Right.
And then also for everyone listening, if I could manifest you $1 million, I would. But this is just an example.
Well, so I just read this book, and it's it was the autobiography of what's his name? One of the Rockefeller. And he says, like, as much as I want to give everyone $1 million, like, the only way a man can improve himself is through the internal conducts. And, like, my purpose of writing this book is to give you the tools to improve your internal conduct so that you can have those things. Because if not, like, if you gave him $1 million, like, someone could buy a Ferrari and then crash it and then they're dead. Like, you know, because they're not prepared to handle. And again, money is a physical tender, but, like, it's really the force, right?
And it's an energy.
It's the energy. It's the power. It's the influence. And so, like, I read this in another book that I live my life by. It's service is the key to power. So, like, you need to service people in order to have power. And so, like, people, again, are like, oh, you're a very, like, influential guy or powerful guy. But it's only because I provide so much service. Like, I'm a leader of a couple organizations. Like, they're not, like, I'm not Steve Jobs or anything, but, you know, they're doing well. And I still answer the calls, right? I still treat each client like they're the most important person. I still take out the trash at the studios. I still, like, clean, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's because I want to give, like, my life is to serve not only, like, our clients, but our employees, our staff member, my wife, like, everybody. Like, I'm here to be of service. And because of that, like, I then am rewarded, not even rewarded, like, because I think also, like, people have a misunderstanding on the word power. Like,
oh, totally.
It's not like I'm rewarded and I'm like, ooh, power, like, I'm going to take it. Like, it's like I have more influence. So if I say, like, hey, person, can you move that? Like, they're going to move it, like, you know, and that's what power is.
It's a respect.
Right, because of how much I've given of myself. For them, like, you know.
And that's why you're the King of Pentacles.
right. Trying to. And you know what's funny is I've said that exact analogy is, like, my whole purpose is to build the kingdom, like, so that not for the material success, like, that's obviously the byproduct, but it's so that I can, and it's such a, like, the verbiage again, like, make people be better. Like, because if they're inside of my kingdom, then I give them the resources, and then I incentivize them to use those resources, like meditating, exercising. Like, I have a personal trainer, and I'm just making a deal with our personal trainer in Vegas to do our whole staff. Like, and so, like, by them improving their health and their mindset and meditating, and then I also, like, again, don't make them read, but we are highly incentivized to read the books that we're all reading as a community. What changes, your entire life will change. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing is I'm unlocking their mind and giving them the power back and empowering the people. And as a byproduct, like, I've had staff with me for like 5 years, and they're, like, down, loyal to the soil, you know? And that's what it is. It's like freeing people from the constraints of their own mind. And the best way to do it is through building the kingdom, is what I think.
Right. I think that's a great way to do it, because you're giving them, like you said, the power back. And it like you said, it's creating loyalty, but in this way that's not negative. It's not loyalty out of fear.
Right.
It's loyalty out of gratefulness.
Yeah. We're just like, well, and I still provide for them a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? And so they're like, there's no reason for them to like not be like, you know, it's like a holistic, synergistic environment. It's like they love coming to work. I need help doing the work, so then they get, you know, rewarded for the work, and then I give them resources, and it's just like everyone's happy and healthy and strong, and like that's all anybody wants. Like I think ultimately is to be more happy.
Yeah, and you're doing it in a very different way than like Amazon. They created those terrible Amazon boxes, and like you're doing mindfulness in a very positive way, whereas there's a great book called Mindfulness. By Ronald someone. Sorry, forgot your name, dude.
I'll have to look it up, yeah.
And it talks about how in unhealthy, unethical ways, big companies like Amazon are creating these mindfulness, what's the word I'm looking for, programs.
Yeah.
And they're not actually there. It's just brainwashing you to take on more work. And you're not doing that, which is great.
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard to like, I'm very like, strict on, I call it slop. Like I'm very strict on efficiency, and like I want everyone to do their job as efficiently with like as least effort for them, and like saving time and resources and stuff. And I think in big corporations there's a lot of slop where they'll just like do a task that takes like 3, 4, 5 hours that could be done in 30 minutes. And like I'm totally against that. I think that's a sin. Like it's like you're wasting resources and time and all this stuff for like, why? Because we could do it better. So I'm pretty strict on everybody about that, but I would say like more of the positive side. So I want to hear what you're obviously a part of a society, and I've you know, have thought about joining certain clubs. My goal is to and again, I want to hear your thoughts, because there's a level of maybe like limiting beliefs or barriers that I haven't like moved forward with anybody, but so the YOP, the Young Presidents Organization, that's like one that I think you have to have like $10 million and be under 45. So like that's one that I'm striving to like reach. Another one that I've like gone to is just entry level like Freemasons. Like I've gone to. Oh, I knew
it. I could feel the energy. I'm like, oh, this man is either a Mason or he's going to become a Mason.
Yeah, so I've gone to like their like coffee things, and I've like just, you know, talked with people, but again, never moved forward with anything. My dad tried like, so my uncle is a really high level Freemason, his like as long as I've known, and then my dad was like, yeah, you know, like you got to be careful with that. Like there's a death penalty amongst that club, and I was like,
I don't think that's been acted in like 300 years.
So I want to hear your thoughts on it.
No, I think you're looking at two different groups, right? Like one of them is very like focused on the material world. Nothing wrong with that. And then the other one is more focused on the Masons logo or catchphrase is making good men better. And I am in a relationship with someone who's a 32nd degree Mason.
No way, currently?
Yeah, currently.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so you just need to be careful. Like, make sure that you're joining the actual lodge, like the one that's sanctioned by California, not like some weird offshoot that, like, you know, like. But I think it's a great idea, like especially because the older generation is dying off, and there's a lot of lodges are being consolidated right now because there's not enough members, and it is work. Like you have to learn cipher, you have to learn how to read code. Now for me, I'm like super into that.
Yeah,
like, I can't be a Mason, but like I've seen the books, and I'm like, that's so cool.
That's incredible. You're like, get me stoked. I'm like, I'm going back to the lodge.
It is, but it's great because like from the lessons that I've seen my boyfriend go through and grow from, like these are lessons. It's like speeding up your maturity is the best way I can describe it. So you see them go through things, and I don't think anyone's actually died in a really long time. But the story that I've seen people come out of those initiations and they're just like stunned, right? Because your unconscious mind is processing so much, and you're just rapidly going through things. And I think that's great if that's what you want to do, and I think it would be beneficial to you. Yeah,
well, I think that like, yeah, it's just expanding. My whole thing is just becoming better, learning more, developing the skills, and like as a byproduct, like. So right now, right, like it's, again, the organization is material, but like once you get, so my goal has been like unlimited wealth for like as long as I know, and I think it's probably not that far away, but like then what happens after that? Like, you know, I think you still, in order to not get lost and like die from an overdose because you are so lost.
End up on a pedophile island.
Yeah, right? Like you need to continue to keep developing yourself. And like a lot of my clients, we work with a lot of attorneys. So like a lot of my clients who are extremely wealthy, there's two sides. There's like the people that just stop giving a fuck about anything, right? And then they start to gain weight and like it's just like don't have purpose. But the guys who are like lean, mean, on purpose, they're just like developing themselves, and then they're not motivated by money anymore, but they're still on the development skills, gaining knowledge, understanding the universe, right? Like, so like how deep that goes is kind of, yeah, it's like a scare, not scary, but like fear in the sense of like the unknown, right? Like it could go so deep as you continue to unlock and develop your consciousness.
But the great thing about things like the Masons is that they don't force you to continue, right? Like you would probably want to get up to at least your third degree where you're a master Mason. But then like if you know anything about Masonry, there's all these different offshoots. There's Scottish Rite, there's the Shriners. But I think it's great if we could bring this stuff back because men need fraternity. Like a lot of this male loneliness epidemic, I don't think it's just about women. I think that you need dude friends.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started on that. I feel like men are so weak now. Like they're so... And that's maybe why I'm doing so well, like because it's like I'm a strong man and like, you know, I have a family and I'm a good leader and I'm a dad and I'm a good husband, and it's like those are like core things you need to be a man. Like, you know, up until I feel like, not that, like, it's funny because one of my really, really good friends I grew up with since I was like 8 or 9 years old, I'm like, you're not a man. You don't have a family or kids. Like, you don't even know what it's like to think of anyone by yourself. He's like, just because I don't want that life doesn't mean I'm not a man.
You know what? A lot of Masons would agree with you.
I mean, it's just, I don't know what the core... There's a really good book I read, and it's Hard Times Create Strong Men, and then Good Times Create Weak Men. And I think it's just like we've been in such good times, like, right, like for so long. There hasn't been any war or famine or anything in so long that like the base level of life is so easy, really. Like
it
in
is
real life.
very easy.
Yeah,
convenience is
no
king.
challenge. Like you could Amazon anything, you could eat anywhere. Like you're not gonna go, even if you have no resources and nothing. There's like government housing, government food. Like and then you have a phone. Like so that's what people are on. Like crap and phones.
Yeah, but you can take those things and make them into something.
Bro, yeah, that's why I like. That's why I don't like excuses from anybody. Because, you could change your entire life. It just starts with a choice. Like, you could change your environment. You could decide to be better. 1%. Like, you know.
Yeah, I keep my social media limit. I mean, I use it, obviously, to post things. But it's under an hour a day.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't consume social media.
Yeah.
I think that it's a waste of my time. Like, of course, know your competitors and stuff like that. But it doesn't make me feel good. Yeah. Like, I've... recently been tapering off an SSRI because I want to find my baseline again and see like where my anxiety is really at.
What's an SSRI?
Lexapro. So what it does is it slows down the uptake of serotonin. So like your serotonin stays bouncing around in your mind longer. And I've been on it for a very long time, especially when I was in grad school. And it was like I was under a lot of stress. I was doing multiple internships, all kinds of stuff. So now that I'm getting off of it, I'll try to scroll TikTok, and my brain is like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. Yeah. Like, and people have this idea of like, oh, if I'm just going to scroll TikTok to relax. No.
That's the worst thing you could do. Well, you know what's so crazy is I work a lot. Like, I don't scroll, but I'm on social media, like, checking the DMs, making sure, like, everyone's posting. Like, you know, I work a lot on social media, which I think is... It's still a fine line because it's still an addiction where I'm like, oh, let me go check, like, you know? Totally. But I'm so cognitive of, like, what I intake into my, like, all around, right? Like, water, food, content, like, music, anything that goes into me, I'm, like, so cautious of. Like, and it's so, I mean, it's crazy. there's people like, there's literally people trying to get into corporations, trying to get into your subconscious mind to get you to spend money with them, like, you know, or influence you in a certain direction. So it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you know, that was a big thing when I shot my own TV show this year back in January.
Oh, wow, incredible.
Yeah, so it's an independent show, but we didn't have, like, any advertisers at all. Like, it was completely grassroots, and it taught me a lot about leadership, too, and, like, what you intake. Like, because at that time, like, first of all, the ghost investigation is very stressful.
Don't let anybody fool you.
It's a very stressful situation. You want to talk about unknowns, like, you don't know what's going to happen. And I understand why some people get like a thrill off of that. But when you're consistently doing this for like 2 weeks at a time, like I had to be so strict with myself and be like, all right, because you're up till sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So like you're basically nocturnal, and like trying to create like a healthy lifestyle when you're doing that's impossible. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
But it was just very stressful for me because it was the first time that I had been in front of the camera like properly, like not my phone, stuff like that. And it just like I had to level up in a way that I hadn't before. And you're right, it all starts from like, what am I taking in? Like, and social media really draws on like you comparing yourself to other people.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. I know. I get I create a lot of content. I post a lot. I'm always like outputting, not so much consuming. But people are like, "Oh, I could never be like you." I'm like, dude, stop comparing. Like, I've been doing this since 2012. Like, and the amount of edits that I still do to make myself look like that's like, it's like you can't compare yourself. It's terrible. Like, you can only start where you start and continue to keep going. And again, we have a lot of high-level clients, and I do this like same training because I see it come up. It's funny because Choo Choo, our studio engineer in Vegas, I've seen them have the same barrier where they're like nervous to post. And it's not even their stuff. It's like there's such a like conditioning of like, oh, it needs to be perfect, it needs to be a certain way. There's like, and that comes back to like everyone has their own story, right? Like, it needs to be aesthetic, it needs to be shot this way, it needs to be this way, it needs to be edited or whatever. But you peel that layer back, like there's the fear of posting, and then there's like the story they tell themselves, and then you go even back, and it's because everyone you know is on social media, and you think everyone's thinking something about you, or like, and then you peel that layer back, and it's the fear of criticism.
100%. So stop putting your validation on a number of likes. Yeah. My best videos that I've performed millions of views are ones that took me about 30 seconds to shoot.
Literally, it's crazy.
Like, because it's about story. At the end of the day, it's about you in a economy of attention. These aesthetics are not as important anymore.
They're not. And it's like, or go ahead, I'm sorry, I feel like.
Oh, no, that was just like the idea is like the authenticity factor. And I've debated with people on this, like, what is authenticity actually? But it's showing up without that fear. Yeah. It's showing up saying, like, I don't need this validation, but I'm going to post it anyway. And people feel that.
Well, and too, I 100% agree. And like, your first post is not going to be your best post. Like, and you have to think, I always tell them that. It's like, Michael Jordan was not Michael Jordan when he first grabbed his basketball. Like, you know, like, think about how many shots he had to make till, like, you can remember him. It's like, so you have to start shooting. Like, we're going to make your best, like, we're going to set you up at the best skill level that you're at. You're going to take your best shot, right? But then your next shot's your best shot. Like, that's my motto is, like, the next one's the best one. So it's like, just try again and do it again and do it again. And then after, like, 10 years, then, like, you'll be as charismatic. You're really good on camera, like, you know. So, but it's just because of the practice and how many times you've done it.
Yeah, it's the practice, and like that was a big hurdle that I had to overcome when someone else is shooting me and I can't see what I look like. Like, very stressful. And then I realized, oh, you know what? No one actually cares if there's a little bit of extra skin under my chin. Nobody cares because it's about the energy that I'm putting out.
Yeah, no one cares. No one cares. No one cares about anything. Yeah. And you know what's funny is I say this too all the time. It's like, did you know actually everybody's a narcissist? And like the definition of narcissism is to like put your own well-being first. Like, it literally says in the definition, like, everybody's a narcissist. That means like you eat food, you're a narcissist. Like, you care about your well-being, you're a narcissist. But like, I say it openly. I'm like, I'm a narcissist. Like, you know, I'm not, there's like levels to it. Like, right? It's not, but everybody is. And I don't know where I was going with that.
So the way that I like to think about it, this is so nerdy, but Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
So Pokemon have statistics, and they all have the same statistics: attack, defense, and HP. So human beings, we also have statistics, and you're right. Narcissism, everyone has a level of narcissism. The problem is when it becomes a personality disorder. But yeah, you're going to have some dark traits. You can't have the battery without both ends.
Yeah, I know. It started with my wife, like telling me I'm a narcissist, and I was like, You know what's funny is we used to be like, you're crazy, but then how I actually allowed it to seep into my subconscious, I was like, what if she is crazy? But then what if she is right? And I was like, and that allowed me to like have the duality, the contrast of like, if she was right, what would that look like? And then I like allowed me to intake the information instead of like staying at the brick wall, like, so.
Yeah, that defense and that's someone you trust,
yeah.
right? Like, so you can like let them in and do that self-reflection. Americans, we don't self-reflect. We lost that skill. And it's so necessary because we're not going to be right 100% of the time, especially when you do magic. I've had backfires before. I've had stuff blow up in my face. And I was like, I thought I did this right. Where did I mess up? Humility is so important.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, humility is huge. And I think humility I think is not to be mistaken with shame, but maybe sometimes if you did something that's shameful, you should look at it and ingest it. And when I think back and look at my first lesson with humility is and it's actually what started my whole self-development journey. I started my first business when I was 23, and I thought I knew everything. And that's when I found out that I didn't know everything and completely failed, right? Like, ass backwards. My dog died. My girlfriend left me. Like, I lost my house, my car, everything. I'm, like, sitting in my parents' house, like, looking at the ceiling, and I'm like, I must have did something wrong, like, or I probably wouldn't be here. And then, like, I remember it was so painful. I would, like, look in the mirror and cry. And I was like, holy shit, like, and then I started to see what I did wrong. And, but yeah, like, it's okay to look at that. And, like, if you did have shame, like, that's okay too. But, like, to forgive yourself, like, to go through it and, like, let it pass through your energy and not what do they call it? Like a sanskara, like a stuck energy, and not let it become like a blockage inside of you.
Yeah, Gabor Mate has a great book called The Myth of Normal, and like we have been normalized in our culture to like hold on to that shame, and that creates illness, like
cancer,
all kinds of trouble. So like allowing to learn to sit with your feelings and let them have their space. That doesn't mean we always act on them.
Yeah,
we're not gonna like impulsively go out and like beat the shit out of people.
Although in LA, like you
never know. But like that creates a maturity within you, and that's something. If you're gonna try to do business without the understanding of psychology, just throw your money out the window at that point.
Well, and something that I tell myself too is like when I have thoughts or like stuck energy or like sometimes I'll have flashbacks. Like I was talking about motorcycles with Josh, our studio engineer, like because he drove me up here. And then I thought about back when I was a kid and like the hardships I had when I was a kid. And like just from talking about motorcycles, and I almost like I felt this like strong maybe like sadness or like just energy from my childhood. But then I had to like remember like not to like release it or not to dwell on it. Like, yeah, that's a part of my history or story, but I don't need to like live in that, and that's not my reality, So it's like it's not actually me. Like my thought is like even when I think stuff, like that doesn't mean that's me. Like it's just like the universe catching signals from the ether. Like
yes, yeah, that's something that I had to learn in undergrad. Right, is that my thoughts are not always reality.
Yeah.
Like I know, especially like when I first started posting, like of course my first posts weren't the best one, but I did the best that I could.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those that are even not the highest quality, they still perform well when I repost them.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with this.
Yeah, I love you sharing that. So, I wanted to ask you something. So, there's like the Hermetic laws, and the book I'm referring to is like the Kabbalion by the Three Initiates, and one of the laws that I still have trouble grasping. I feel like I'm understanding it more, but it's like as above, so below. Like, what does that mean to you?
So the full axiom is as above, so below, as within, so without.
Yes.
Yeah. So what that's referring to is going back to the Platonic forms. The things that are here are a reflection of things that are above. So going back to the Aleister Crowley idea, the 72 angels and the 72 demons live inside of you, and they live outside of you as well. So the universe is basically a giant mirror reflecting itself.
Which makes sense. Like, right, like that's what AI is. Like, it's just like the universe materialized humans, and then now like humans are like materializing like a synthesized mind. So it's like just like happening again. It's like,
yeah, it is. And I have a lot of opinions about AI. I'm not all negative. I'm not anti or pro AI.
I saw like your YouTube video about that.
Yeah, I'm really curious about it. I spent my entire summer shooting a podcast series called AI and Spirituality to understand like how does it work and how, because there's people falling into spiritual psychosis, people who think that they can channel aliens or they're the chosen one because of ChatGPT.
Oh, man.
And like it just shows that there's such a vacancy in our culture where people are seeking the divine.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Like this AI is I call it our collective cyber unconscious. So everything that ChatGPT is learning from comes from our work and then scraping from the internet.
Yeah. I have not like an understanding like or a theory or like just a thought, I guess. It's like you said, people are so disconnected that they keep going outside of themselves to find the answer instead of going within. Yeah. And I think AI is like the next level of it. So like instead of meditating, right, and catching the signal from the source, they're asking ChatGPT, like, how do I feel better about my life? And it's like it's like further out. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to like
I see what you're saying.
That.
ChatGPT is just going to tell you the same thing that a therapist would, but it's not a therapist. It cannot do psychotherapy. And it's going to give you journal prompts.
Yeah.
You could get that from a book.
Yeah.
Like, human connection, but more importantly, the connection with yourself is what is going to heal you. Mm-hmm. You have to create that. And even if you don't want to believe in source or God, if you want to be a straight materialist, creating that relationship with yourself is most important.
I love that. I think that's the answer to all, right? Like is meditation. Like
truly.
And luckily, my family's not here with me on this trip, but we've been coming here a lot, like too often. And usually my family comes with me, and so like we've been off balance as a unit. But luckily, like they come with me, so like like we're experiencing it together, which is nice. So it's not like I'm like way far away from my family. It's like we still keep that collective energy together, and even if it is off balance. Where was I going with this? I had like something I wanted to elaborate, but now.
So you're talking about meditation, and what about going with family, being unbalanced?
ChatGPT, I don't know. It's gone.
Okay. Reset.
Hard reset. So thank you for elaborating the as above, so below. And then the entire axiom. I just couldn't remember it, but yeah, I had trouble with that one, like trying to understand it, and it goes like when you start to learn, I think, an axiom, you can find it applying to, like, everything, right? Like, it could apply to leadership. Like, as the leadership above, so is, like, the leadership below. And, like, so I feel like I sat with that one for a while just because I couldn't understand it. And I start, like, to see it in different patterns in the universe,
you'll
right?
see it
and
everywhere.
You're like, whoa, I think I'm starting to understand. I think I get it, maybe. I don't know. I'm learning it more. Like, there's a guy. You know who Kevin Trudeau is?
That name's really familiar. Can you refresh my memory, though?
He has this program called Your Wish is Your Command, and he kind of like he was a 33-degree Mason, and he was in the Brotherhood, and then he like kind of left the Brotherhood and started like sharing like the insides, and then like he was jailed. Like they literally convicted him of like he had another book too. What is it called? Natural Cures, and then they like said he scammed like however many 100 million people or something that bought that book, and then they jailed him for 10 years basically in reality because he went against the Brotherhood, and then so they like convicted him. They didn't kill him though, so that was cool.
Yeah, there are consequences for your actions.
Yeah, and he was like legit just spreading their like secrets, and so
Sir, you took an oath.
yeah. So I actually really like him. He's like, I was a part of his program for a long time. And then I did a lot of his like, a lot of his things. It was expensive. It was like, I did like one like Sanskara like energy program. It was like 10 grand.
Ooh,
and then after that, I was like, I feel like he kind of like finessed me on this one. I don't know. And then that made me have a little bit of salt. But I still listen to his programs. Like actually everything he's always ever said is like really helpful. Now I don't remember where I was going with that. He has this thing. It's called Teachability Index. So it's like, what's your willingness to learn and what's your willingness to accept change? And then it's like, so if you say you understand something like, oh, I get that, then your teachability automatically goes to 0. So like instead of like, once you start to grasp an idea, like the axiom, it's like, okay, I'm starting to grasp it, but like I probably need to understand it deeper. Versus like, oh, now I get it. It's leadership above, leadership below. How you feel inside, how you feel outside. Like that's a very limited understanding of the axiom. So it's like, I think I'm starting to understand it. Like, let me go deeper. Like, you know.
And especially in occultism, there's always layers.
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay, so let's head towards the back end of our. We've been going for like an hour and 20 minutes almost. So yeah, this was incredible. Like time collapses, which is another understanding of reality.
Do that, yeah.
So what's next for you? Like, where do you see yourself in like 5 years, or like kind of what are you excited about for the future?
Oof. So I can only think about a month ahead right now. And that's because Exploring Haunted America is coming out.
Nice.
So it will be available on Amazon Prime. You can purchase it or rent it. And of course, we've taken all of that footage and we've cut it up into, when I say we, I mean the production company.
Yeah, the team.
The team has made like 120 shorts. We've got, I think, 8 short mini episodes that are going out on YouTube that we shot. And that's where I would really like this to start boosting myself into like the next realm. So if I was thinking like in 5 years, I like to think of Patty Negri, who's one of my friends. She was very popular on Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins as like their psychic medium. And I would like to start being on camera more and doing this work. Like, it is absolutely super stressful, but it's something that I do enjoy. I'd like to grow in that. I actually just finished doing the occult science work of a book that I've been working on for a couple of years.
Incredible.
Thank you. It's about manifestation of partners and sex magic, because our world is desperately in need of like redefining love and what that means.
I love that. That's a whole other topic,
Totally.
like sex magic. I don't even know if it's appropriate to discuss, but yeah, me and my wife have our own rictuals that we do, and it lasts a long time. And
do you guys do breath work beforehand?
Yeah, we do like 3 or 4 hour like blocks basically, and we do. Oh, my chakras are opening up talking about it. But yeah, it's phenomenal. I think that maybe. I don't know how we even got on that, but we started to develop that energy, and like, I don't know if that's part of occult practices, but we do it, and like, it's an incredible experience. Like, everyone should do it.
It is, yeah, and because you're not just focusing on like the material, like our world where pornography has become so invasive, like it is just this feeling of instant gratification and the feeding of the lower animal portion of the soul. But sexuality is supposed to open you up to those greater experiences, even religious experiences. But we can't do that if we don't have trust and intimacy with our partners.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I don't think that we've been together for like 7 or going on 8 years maybe. I think we just celebrated our 4th wedding anniversary. And I've never been in a relationship like this. Like, I've never been together with a woman this long. But, like, it's really cool because, like, as time goes by, you get more intimate and deeper and, like, respect them and we've had a child together now. And, like, you're able to go deeper with each other where, like, I don't know if we'd be able to connect in that energy without, like, with someone as, I don't know, like, how quickly can you meet somebody and take that much, whatever you want to call it, sex magic or, whatever the label is, and go that deep and create that powerful of an energy.
Well, I think unfortunately a lot of sex magic has been commodified for manifestation purposes. And while yes, it can absolutely be used for that purpose, that is a very surface level exploration.
Ooh, can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely.
Like go deeper into that?
Yep. So if we go back into Tantra is a large umbrella, but there is a specific part of Tantra that is focused on sex magic. So there's a great book called Sexual Secrets by Penny Singer and Nick Douglas, and it talks about like the creation and the unity of, and it can be used for the same sex couples, but in the tantric tradition, it is opposite sex. And what you're doing here is you're creating this experience where you're using your breath, you're using your energy to help you reach into those subtle energies above. So that's where you will have these ecstatic experiences, but it's not always about the physical feeling. Like, yes, you will have an amazing orgasm, but that is kind of not the point. It's about creating this soul immersion with another person. And I understand that a lot of people want to rush into this because when you have that honeymoon phase where your brain looks like it's on cocaine, wonderful. Can you get to that depth? Maybe. I'm going to go with maybe, because when you're in that ecstatic brain state, it's very much stimulated by the visuals and the excitement of the new person, the new smells, the new body, the new personality. But to have this deep, religious, intimate experience requires you to like really know the person inside and out, including their dark parts of themselves. So Carl Jung is a psychologist that I have a lot of great respect for. And when he talks about the shadow, he's not necessarily the protege, but his successor, Robert A. Johnson, talks about the romantic love as shadow. So when you are falling in love, you're projecting divinity onto another person. You are projecting like the God image, like that person can do no wrong. They're perfect. That fades, that breaks because it's an illusion. If you can get past that point, that disillusionment, and the person is truly not abusive, that person is truly doesn't have a narcissistic personality disorder, you can open up to this beautiful sexual life that goes beyond what we see on TV. Like, because TV is so focused, and porn is so focused on the physical. Oh, that's so sexy. Oh, like let's push the limits as far as possible. But again, that's external. The tantric work is going internal and experiencing the depths of a person's soul with them.
That's so, yeah, there's so, I feel like I just learned so much. Because like when we practice, like it's not like, yeah, we do like physical material manifestation stuff, but like what's the purpose of this of yeah, like sex magic, or like what, like,
so there's lots of different purposes. One of them could be creating a stronger bond with that person. One could be having religious experiences. Like even through meditation, you can have psychedelic experiences that you would normally have by taking mushrooms, for example. You can have that like times 10 with the proper work in the sexual arena. And then, of course, there's a manifestation, which is the most popular.
Right.
It can work, but I am afraid that with so much focus on let me create this like physical world for myself, you're missing the depth of the other person.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that, and I think like all of those things have been a byproduct. Like our relationship has gotten deeper. Like we know each other, we respect each other more. You have more patience. Oh, yeah. You have like, of course, the physical elation of the experience, and then you can. I mean, for us, I think like our challenge is always like not challenge, but like we try to stay in that. Yeah, like. The word you're saying, like ecstatic, or like that high frequency, like almost orgasmic state for as long as possible, right? And like extending that period longer and longer and longer. And it's like kind of crazy from like a male's perspective, because like I've never experienced anything like that. So it's like really crazy to be like, whoa, this lasts like forever, like, you know? So, and yeah, and I think that you're right, is people, I think, what's the word? Sex as a whole just like the industry, the market, the verbiage has been, I don't want to say like commoditized or like,
it's been reduced.
Commoditized and what's the word? I can't think of the word. What's the word? I can't think of it. But yeah, like it's like a trigger word. I don't know. Like it's just like not thought of appropriately, I think. And I think if you think of it like intimate, magic, that's a better verbiage than like how it's like done nowadays.
Yeah. I think the way that I look at it is like putting sacredness back into sex. Like sex has become a commodity.
Yeah.
You know, we swipe on Tinder. We can like. I will never forget the time I deleted Tinder was way back in like 2017. And the person that I met was like, it's like ordering a hooker. And I was like, fuck you. Goodbye. I was so offended. And that's when I realized, oh, wait a second. That brings me no respect.
Yeah.
And sex has been treated now as something as easy that I can just like, let me look at a shelf of women. What kind of porn do I want to watch? And what kind of woman do I want to hook up with? There's no intimacy anymore.
Yeah, it's so devalued even. It's just like, you know, like it's just like holding hands nowadays. Like it's just like so easy, like which is dangerous, I think. It's like because beyond the physical mixture of like fluids, like you're mixing your soul energy, right?
Yes.
Like and you're like not polluting, but yeah, you're just taking in so much energy, and that could cause confusion and
absolutely, and heartbreak, all
kinds of just emotions that aren't necessary, I think.
Yeah, so you're creating a cord. So you and I have created a cord through our relationship that we've created over the last hour or so. You create a cord with the woman who gave you your coffee this morning.
Yeah.
Imagine how intense and strong that cord will be if you merge bodies together.
Right.
And there's some amazing science that's come out that shows that a woman carries the DNA of the sperm that was deposited for like multiple years.
Oh, wow.
And so it's not just ethereal anymore. It is
like
physical.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, this has been like an incredible conversation. I don't think I've enjoyed a podcast this much in a while. So
thank you, Oscar.
Thank you so much for coming by. Is there anything like left that you want to say to people? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching, first of all, and I really hope that you will take the time to check out Exploring Haunted America. You can find us at Harrow, that's HARROW, House Films on YouTube if you want to watch some of the free content. And then, of course, we'll be available on Amazon Prime starting in October.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by. I know it's LA. It was a journey, but I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, Oscar, and thank you for being so open and sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah.